You've launched a project, you have your calendar for promotion. You know your job, but let me tell you a little bit about what other people are going to do. I have run 30 campaigns now, and kind of the same thing happens every time. So I just want to give you a heads up of some stuff that's going to happen that might be weird, and just let you know that it's normal and some advice on how to deal with it. First of all, it's going to be stressful and repetitive. You're going to say the same thing every day. Hopefully you have varied up your promotion, but like in real life, people are going to be like, congratulations, or you've hit your goal, so now you don't have to worry, or you must be stressed out. That's life. You're going to feel that all month. You may fund right away, or it may be a slog all month. Either way is normal, and either way will be stressful. If you've done the work in the class so far, you should be well prepared to hit your goal. Just keep promoting and be ready to get there eventually. If you haven't done the work in the class so far, if your goal isn't realistic or your audience isn't quite developed yet, and you launch day one, and out of $10,000 you make $2, or somehow you don't have any backers, that means that your audience was not ready. You didn't have a mailing list. You didn't have an audience that liked you. It might be time to cancel and restart this class and start developing that audience from scratch. But if you have done the work in this class, you are fine. I feel pretty good about where you are. And if you are feeling worried, you can email me if you've done the work in the class. But if you've done the work, you should be well prepared. Just keep doing your plan. Do the work in your calendar. The best thing you can do is celebrate your successes and keep talking about your creative project. Unhappy people. Okay, so here is what you can expect from the reaction from your audience. Unhappy people will be louder than happy ones. Demanding and high maintenance people will be louder than happy ones. People will be mad about these things: the price of international shipping, paying money in general, and other things that don't make sense to be mad about. That's going to happen. It's not special to you. It might be confusing. It is okay. This is normal. Some people are just like that. It is not your fault, and you do not have to fix it. Here are some things that people might say. I don't get paid till next week, but I will back then. If you're running a Kickstarter campaign, this might be confusing or annoying to you because it actually doesn't make sense. Your backers are going to be charged on the day that your project ends. They will not be charged right now. They're not even going to be charged next week. They're going to be charged the day your project ends. So it doesn't matter when they get paid, right? But when people comment this, I usually just say, okay, thank you. You can't tell people how to spend their money. It gets weird. So just say thank you, or say, awesome. There's a remind me button on the page, which there is on Kickstarter and a lot of these platforms. So go hit that remind me button so you don't forget. Some people might say, I wish I could get specific combination of items. So if your page says that you can only get like a CD with a pin and a t-shirt, and you can't just get a CD and a t-shirt or whatever, some people are going to be like, I want specific things together that you aren't allowing me to get. That's going to be a thing that some people want. We'll talk about how to deal with that. And then some people are going to say, do you take like PayPal, or do you take check, whatever? And Kickstarter, for example, doesn't take PayPal. Indiegogo does take PayPal. And part of that is just a security thing. Kickstarter doesn't, because it's not as secure, and it's not as, PayPal is like a lot easier to refund, and that kind of rips you off. So that's not your problem. More things. I don't give my credit card information to the internet. Can I write you a check? And like, what's a Kickstart? So these are people who maybe are not as into buying things on the internet. And you can choose to explain things to them and deal with them one-on-one, or you can choose not to. Here are my suggestions. Address complaints and negative comments privately. Don't act like they're widespread problems unless they truly are. You don't need to make a big Kickstarter update or a campaign update. You don't need to make a big social media post like, people are complaining about this. People have said this. I hear all of you saying this. If it's one or two people, or 3 or 4 people, I mean, whatever the scale of your project is, you do not need to say, like, make a big announcement, assume that everybody cares. If people have a problem, they'll probably tell you a lot of the time. So don't assume that there are, like, people hiding in the corners with a lot of complaints. Ask people to email you when they have problems so you can directly and privately handle their issues. Some people, like, might leave a comment and you could reply to their comment, but they may not even see that reply. So just say, please email me. I'll directly respond to your feedback, and then you can deal with stuff privately. And publicly be very positive, okay? So remember, for the most part, people are going to be happy. People are backing your project. There are just a couple vocal people who are complaining. It's easier to be loud when you're annoyed. It's so easy to just be quiet. If everything's fine, they'll just quiet. It's fine. All right. You can decide whether dealing with specific issues like off-platform backing, adding a new reward combination is worth your time. This is totally up to you. If some people say, like, I want to write you a check, or I just need the CD and the shirt, you can decide whether you want to, like, add another reward level for those people. You can decide whether you want to create a system where you're taking checks in addition to running a Kickstarter. That is totally up to you, and it is okay to say no. If you do start doing, like, a special case thing separately from your campaign, make a very easy to find document for your future self now so that you do not lose track of these people. You're going to be really busy in the future. You have, like, a whole creative project to make and a whole bunch of fulfillment to deal with in the future. So make sure that you have some spreadsheet or Google Doc or notebook or whatever that you are not going to lose, where you're keeping track of, like, Grandma wrote me a check for $100 because she doesn't understand how Kickstarter works. Remember to mail her a CD that's signed, or whatever you need to do. Jeremy wanted a CD and a t-shirt, so he backed at $80, whatever it is. So it's up to you, and it is totally okay to say no. You can just say, no, Kickstarter's not going to let me give you this specific combination of items. If you want to do this, just back at this level. Sorry. People can deal with it. It's fine. And honestly, after complaining, sometimes people's energy is just done and they don't actually care. They just wanted to complain about something and wanted to be heard. So don't worry about it. Okay. Here are some other specific crowdfunding things that you might expect this month. You will likely get a lot of spam from marketing companies offering to help promote your project. Everybody gets those. Every project, whenever it launches, gets put on a marketing list for a bunch of different companies, and I think most of them are spam. So feel free to ignore. Some of them might be legit, but I think they'll just buy Facebook ads for you. There will be people who back your project and then cancel. That just happens. That's totally normal. Don't take it personally. It's fine. Some of them, it's because they don't have the money anymore, or they just, the financial things, or their credit card got canceled. Some of them are fake, like, spammers within the Kickstarter platform that have nothing to do with you. Don't stress about it. It's normal. There may be days when you get no new backers, especially mid-project. This happens to everybody, and it's fine. All these things are normal. Ignore it. Don't stress. It's okay. As soon as your project ends, and this is getting a little ahead of ourselves, but since we're in the what to expect when you're launching section, you'll get messages from people who just missed it. That's really annoying, but it happens every time. Let this be motivation to you to promote your project a lot so that you get fewer of these messages. I get these messages, and I promote the dickens out of my projects. It's inevitably, as soon as I end a project, I get messages from people like, oh no, I missed it. How do I support you? And it's like, I had such an easy, And usually I just say, no, you can't help it right now. I'm busy. I'm dealing with the end of a project. You can buy the album later. It will happen. It's okay. Pledges will fail due to credit cards bouncing after your project ends. This, I guess it doesn't happen 100% of the time, but most of the time when I launch a project, some credit cards bounce. People's just don't, their credit cards expire, or they don't have the money on their debit card or whatever. That's super normal. That's why we built that safety into your budget. It might unfortunately be like a high amount backer, a $2,000 backer or something will bounce. That happens more often than is comfortable. And so you just really, you can follow up with these people. Do I talk about that? Yes. If people have missed your project, the nice response that you can say to them is, make sure you're on my mailing list so that you don't miss it next time. And then the response to pledge bouncing is, you can follow up with people. Kickstarter and other platforms do have like an automatic follow-up system, and you can send like a BCC follow-up if you want to. I try to keep this as generic as possible to make it not seem like I am financially guilting people, or like I personally, like their band knows that they're broke or whatever. Like I just try to keep it like, hi, just wanted to let you know something happened with your card. If you want to fix it, you have a couple days. And Kickstarter will let you know how that works. All right, other things to expect. Stretch goals are next, and that's going to be a new video. So we will see you right there.